Yo, what's up guys, it's Dave here, and today I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to my truck. Basically, we're going to be removing the factory air suspension, which is, in my opinion, is a piece of crap on this 2500. Nothing but issues, so I just want to show you how I'm going to do this. So, most important part of the project is safety. So we chalk the fronts and the backs of the wheels. I have real chocks in the front. My driveway is on a slight downhill, so the truck would roll forward if anything. That's why I have the big chocks. The other piece of 2x4 is just in the back, and that's just for precautionary reasons. So I'll show you real quick how I have it set up. I didn't put anything on jack stands yet, but I'll explain to you what I'm going to do. And you can see I have big and small jack stands, the jack, and the jack stands for the other side. And real quick, I'll just show you on the other side. We got the wheel chalked, front and back. We should be good. So my plan is going to be to jack up the truck by the differential, which is right there. And what we're going to do is, once the truck is up, we're going to put these large jack stands underneath the frame somewhere to raise the body, and then we're going to lower the axle and most likely have to take the wheels off to do that. Then when we lower the axle, we're going to have to disconnect probably the shocks and the sway bar, either from the axle or the connecting rods up there, and that should give us enough room to get that air out. Now, before we do any of this with the air, I'm gonna unplug the fuse in the fuse box for the air compressor and the relay, because I don't want that thing going off while I'm working on it. So we're gonna do that, and we also will have to remove, it's kind of hard to show you with the wheel on, but this bracket here, which is the auto leveler. So we're going to take that off, disconnect the sensor, and that's on each wheel. This is only the rear though we're working on here. Alright guys, I got it up on the jack stands. I got the tires off, and pretty crazy. Okay, so I got the took the tires off. I shoved them under the truck just in case, God forbid, this thing comes down. Won't come all the way down to the ground, hopefully. Just wanted to show you this real quick. This is the self-leveling mechanism. So it connects to the block here, the bumper, and you got this connecting rod, which goes to this plastic lever. Look at that. It's like, moves like crazy. I'm not even pulling on that. This is the bracket, and it's the sensor. We're gonna pull this off, and we're gonna probably wire tie it up into the truck somewhere. That's my compressor going off, sorry about that, but we're gonna continue here and try to get this done for you. Alright guys, so we got to drop these this axle down. Probably we got to get from the distance in here to that upper mounting plate. We got to get roughly about 20 inches or so. That's how big the springs are with the insulators on top. So in order to do that, you're not going to be able to just lower the axle. We got to disconnect a couple of things. So first of all, we're going to from the axle, we're going to disconnect this track bar, sway bar, right there, and on the other side. Then we're going to disconnect the shock. You can see I already have the wrench on there. we got to do that from both sides. And we're also going to take off this leveling mechanism. I'm not sure how far this comes down, but we have to come down probably a good I don't know, maybe 6 or 8 inches. We got to drop the axle. Once we do that, you know, these should pretty much be able to be pulled out. I'm not going to cut the air lines or anything yet. I want to pull them out if I can, and try to place the coil springs in and get some tension on it before I cut anything out. So I just want to, you know, be sure, double check everything, make sure it's going to be good and it's going to work. Okay, so disconnected the lower shock, disconnected the sensor, leveling sensor, and then I just put those 2 bolts back into the frame. I also disconnected this bar, and it dropped down, which is fine. So I lowered the jack, and last thing I did was I loosened the bolts on that bracket on the axle, which holds the brake lines, just to give it some flexibility. I don't want to bend those brake lines too much. And I cut the zip ties off of the air suspension there, and we're gonna try to pull those out now. So looks like what we got to do is take that 1/2 inch nut off on either side. There's 2 on each, one in the front and one in the back. So we'll check that out, and I'll let you know how we make out. Thanks. All right, guys, to drain the air suspension here, I found a compressor and I removed the left rear and the right rear. Kind of see the ones I just removed there, just to release the air. So I'm going to show you real quick. Oh, okay. So this is the airbag, and I'm sorry, I didn't take the bolts out of that one. Let me show you on this one, so you can kind of see right here. So you can kind of move this now. I should be able to get that out. All right, guys, that didn't take long. I got that one air spring out. Let me see if I can get in here to kind of show you. Hopefully you could see that. Basically what I did was I just turned it sideways, and I took the I took this out. I just unthreaded it, took this out, and you know, just kind of pushed it through here, down through on top of the axle, and then it just came out that way. So I'm going to probably try to take the same path with the springs going in, and I'm going to get one of those in and see how that works out. See if I can kind of show you. Get it there, you can see up top. I got both sides in, and what I'm going to do is just slowly raise the axle and just keep checking. I'm going to probably go up maybe 1/4 inch at a time, and just keep checking just to make sure everything is in line and it seems like it's compressing properly. Once I do that, then I'm going to attach the this track bar in the back here, sway bar, track bar. I'm not really too sure what that is, but whatever this is. Like I said, I'm not a mechanic, but I'm pretty mechanically inclined. Get this axle raised up a little bit more, and then we'll probably pop out the wheel wells here just so we can get into removing these shitty factory shocks, and we're going to put the Bilstein 5100s in. Alright, guys, so I hit a snag doing the shocks, which I kind of figured I would, and I couldn't get that damn bolt off. So I had to cut it up with the Sawzall. It's a pain in the ass, but I got it off. And you can see I got the new Bilstein set in. I just got to put the fender brace in. You can see right there, that was the bolt that got frozen up, rusted. I couldn't get it off. This is the new one, and it looks friggin' awesome. Got that all torqued down. Alright, we're gonna put the wheel well back in, and then we're gonna do the other side. Hopefully it will be a little faster. Alright, I think I'm done here. I got both sides all done. Shocks are in. I did have to cut this side out too. This one just was a lot faster. The other side took me about an hour or so until I figured out the process. This side was about 10-15 minutes. I got the wheel wells back in, and what we're gonna do now is we're gonna put the tires on, and we're gonna get it off the jack stands, see how she sits, test it out, go for a test ride. Alright guys, got the tires back on, both sides, as you can see, and we took the jack stands out, and she's sitting. Everything looks pretty good. I'm gonna go start it up and see what happens when we take it for a test ride. See how she feels. So it should be pretty good. So I'll let you know. Okay, so we jumped in the truck here, and we're going to start it up and see if we get any kind of like error messages or anything like that after removing this air suspension. So let's see what happens here. Okay, so we got immediate air suspension service required. Obviously that's because we disconnected everything. So as long as nothing else is happening, I'm good with just that. If that's going to be the only error that we get or warning. So, because we're not going in here and flashing a computer or anything like that. So let's take it for a test drive and see how it goes. I'll let you know. Alright guys, so we've been driving around for a couple of minutes here. No issues to speak of. Everything seems pretty good. Just gonna try to drive over a little bit of like bumpy areas and stuff like that, but the road actually doesn't seem all that bad here. But we're gonna drive a little bit and we'll see if there are any issues. But so far it seems pretty good, and I don't think we're gonna have any problems. Alright guys, that's a wrap, and this looks good here. Everything seems nice. Oil springs felt pretty good. Shocks felt pretty good. I got a better idea driving it after a couple hours. But seems pretty good. I mean, that's what I like. Alright, I think we're gonna be alright. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you want to see any more like it, please subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate it.